guys, this is Kristen from KristenCoaching.com. A lack of healthy communication can destroy intimate relationships. But not only that, it can also destroy relationships that you built with your coworkers and your job, or maybe family members and close friends. I mean, being able to communicate effectively is such a crucial element to interactions and just relational dynamics that we all have in our day-to-day life. So I want to give you some tips on 6 tips actually on effective communication tools that you can use day in and day out with your intimate spouse, with your partner. You can also use this with friends or family and coworkers. I mean, this is going to help you in all aspects of your life. Obviously, I personally am focused on the intimate relationships with your significant other because I am a relationship coach and I want you guys to be getting along well, having that healthy interaction and dynamic between you two. So let's dive into the 6 tips that I have for you today, and we're going to talk about all of them in depth, okay? So the first tool, an effective tool for a healthy communication with your significant other and whoever else you want to use it with is going to be being authentic. So what do I mean by that? It's important that you know what you want out of the conversation. So you need to be open and you need to be honest. A lot of times, in especially hard conversations, we get really overly focused on what our other half is going to think. What are they going to say? How are they going to feel? And oftentimes that can really hinder us from even bringing up the topic in the first place, or especially being honest about it and open about what our needs are. But when you're authentic, that is really important because you need to know what you need out of the conversation. You need to know where you want the conversation to go, what you want to happen, and that's all about honesty, openness, and authenticity. So in any type of a conversation, you need to know what your needs are out of that, and you need to communicate those needs. That's being authentic, and that's really, really important. So something that you need to work on. The second piece about a healthy communication tool is to be confident in what you need. You know, again, I think a lot of times we can really shy away from what we want out of things. You know, maybe we're like, only if it's okay with you, I'm just not sure. That can really be put off as that you don't know and that you are unsure. And I just think in any type of a healthy dynamic, we need to know what we want. We need to be confident about that. We need to also be able to communicate it because your needs are very important, and that's something that you need to always remember. You have to get your needs met. They are very important. So work on that confidence and being able to communicate what you want to whoever it is. That's very important. If you're not getting your needs met, another part of being confident is being persistent about things. You know, if you're like, hey, I'm just still not feeling like you're understanding, or I'm still not feeling like that I'm not really getting what I need out of this, talk about that. Say that, okay? It's important to be confident, and it's something that you need to work on. I'm not expecting you to do these and know how to do these right away. These take practice, just like with anything else, but these will really help you. So far we have being authentic, we have being confident. The third thing that's gonna be a really effective communication tool for you to use in your relationship is to have an open mind. And what do I mean by that? You know, I view conversations as kind of like a dance-off, okay, with somebody. You have your own dance moves and you're dancing and the other person's seeing you, and then you stop and then you wait for the other person to show their dance moves off, and you're waiting there patiently or maybe impatiently, and you're waiting for that person to do it, and you're going back and forth in the dance. That's really how a conversation is. You have to say your point, then you have to be quiet, and then you have to have the other person say theirs. So having an open mind is really critical because just because you feel a certain way, which is valid and it is right for you, doesn't mean that's the only way how to view a certain situation. Just like there's multiple dance moves out there. Just because I like a certain dance move doesn't mean that is the right way to do the dance move, right? There's other interpretations of moves and dances and rhythms. So basically I'm saying that because everybody has their own way of looking at things and thinking of things. So it's really important that you have an open mind about that and you're open to your partner's perspective perspective on the situation, you know, because both of you can always be right, okay? Just because I have one way to look at it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily right. That my other half and their way of looking at things is very valid as well. So having an open mind, and especially in an argument, is really important because you're able to see another person's perspective and you're able to honor that and recognize that while you also hold your own interpretation of the situation and your perspective as well. So having an open mind is really important, okay? So that's going to be the third tool. The fourth tool for healthy communication skills in a relationship is you want to be able to be empathetic with your significant other. And what do I mean by empathy? I mean, really, at the end of the day, empathy is being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Understand what your partner is experiencing and feeling and going through. The reason why that's important is because that's going to help you figure out solutions down the road. It's going to help you figure out a solution to the problem. Because if you really can't put yourself in your partner's shoes, you're only going to be able to see things from your perspective. And therefore, you're only going to want your own needs to be met and your own feelings about it to be solved. But again, you're in a partnership and you're in a relationship. So it's really important that you can put yourself in your other half's shoes and know what he or she needs as well, okay? And that's really important. Being able to understand, to recognize what they're experiencing, how they're feeling, and being able to communicate that and figure out ways that not only you are going to get your needs met, but figure out ways that your other half is going to get their needs met as well. Really critical, very important. So work on increasing that empathy, okay? And then the fifth tip I have for healthy communication tools is you want to clarify. And what I mean by that is in any type of a dynamic or an interaction, you know, a lot of times we make assumptions of what the other person is meaning or what they're really trying to say to us. You know, they say so much a percentage of a conversation is nonverbal. So we can actually really interpret conversations in a certain way that maybe your partner isn't even intending for it to be communicated in the first place. So if you're feeling reactive or you're feeling a type of way, or maybe you're feeling confused, ask for clarification from your partner. Be like, you know, what did you mean by that exactly? You know, you want to get clarification because oftentimes in arguments, the arguments happen because of miscommunication in the first place. It's because you didn't clarify with your other half what he or she meant by that statement or that comment or that look, and then you interpret it as a negative thing, and then there you go. You're going back and forth with a really intense argument when it didn't even need to be like that. So feel free to clarify, you know, and make sure that your other half is meaning what you think they're meaning before you're reactive to it, before you respond. That's going to be really important and very key and critical. So make sure that you do that. Clarify, clarify, clarify. I think that's always such a good thing. Honestly, about 90+% of the time I clarify in a conversation, I feel so much better because my interpretation of it was way different than what I thought the other person meant. There is that 10% where it does match up, where what I think is what the other person was trying to say, but there you go, and then I can have a reaction to that. But at least I clarified. That's really key and critical. And then the last tip you want to do for a healthy communication strategy is to listen. And it doesn't mean just being quiet and opening up your ears and just, you know, letting your partner talk. Listening has to do with responding in a listening type of way. So you want to nod your head in conversations. You need to know that your partner is listening to what you have to say, because what you have to say is very important. So your partner feels the exact same way. They need you to listen to them. So you have to nod your head. You have to say things like, yeah, I see what you mean. I get it. You know, I understand where you're coming from. Also, maybe asking clarification questions to your other half, being like, I heard you say this. Do you mean that you need me to do this in the future? You know, clarification questions, nodding your head, responding to things that your other half has to say is really important because that shows that you are listening to them and they're feeling validated and they're feeling heard. And you want that as well when you are communicating. I mean, half of an argument really has to do with just making sure that your perspective is being heard by your partner and your partner's other's perspective is being heard by you. And if both of you can understand that, then you can come up to solutions with problems much, much quicker. So you have to learn to listen. Listen with understanding, head nodding, keeping that mouth closed, asking clarification questions, responding back to things that they said so they know that you're hearing them. All those things are really important and critical to do. So out of all the things we talked about today, which are being authentic, being confident, having an open mind, showing empathy, clarifying, and listening, I want you to choose one or two things that you can work on this week when it comes to effective communication tools. I don't expect you to get all 6 down or necessarily even practice all 6 this week, but pick one or two that you want to work on this week with your significant other. Something that you feel you can do better, something that you feel that you want to master more effectively, because again, the more that you can get these 6 communication tools down, the better off and the healthier your relationship is going to be, but also your relationship's going to be with your coworkers, your friends, your family, anybody that you have an interaction and a dynamic with. These tools are really going to be helpful in all scenarios and aspects of your life. But more in particular, it's going to get you and your significant other closer and than you were ever before. And you're going to have much healthier, more effective interactions and communication dynamics between you guys. And I really think you're going to notice a big difference. So pick something you want to work on this week and go for it and have fun practicing it and learning it. Once you get one down, move to the next until you get all 6 down really, really well. And I guarantee you that you're going to feel a lot better about your interactions with your significant other, and you're going to be able to resolve conflict so much more easier. So I hope that these tips were helpful for you today. Please, if you have any questions about it or comments, feel free to do that below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And then thank you so much for watching my video. I'll see you guys next time. Go to KristenCoaching.com if you want to take a look at my website. I always have helpful things there. And I will see you soon. And also my YouTube video, Kristen Coaching. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.